Hi. As you can see, I'm at the laundromat. I don't know if you can tell by that. But I thought I would take this time during my vlogging hiatus to do my reflections of 2024 video. 2024 was supposed to be the year that things got back on track for me, And I think that was probably the unrealistic expectation that I would have a home again by the end of 2024 and not be living in my worst nightmare. And I thought that there couldn't be anything worse than 2023 because, it's where I lost my home and had to live out of a hotel for like 6 months out of the year. Six and a half. Anyway, which wasn't fun, but it's a lot better than living in my nightmare, which I did not see coming. But yet, here I am, staying with my nightmare of a mother who let's just say I am a child of abuse. So, didn't really see myself in my 40s having to go back and live with the person who traumatized and abused me as a child to the point where I had to run away at 16 before I was ready to live on my own. And, I don't know. They say God has a reason for everything he does. Whatever you plan for your life, God already has a plan for your life, and it's all planned out, and only he knows what that plan is. And I'm just like, I don't understand why this would have been in his plan. But to say I'm not having the best time this year is an understatement. I've tried to put on a brave face, smiles and everything, and sometimes putting on that brave face and those smiles help me too, because I don't want to always be the downer and complain about everything when I do know there are far worse scenarios to be in, I suppose. I could be living on the street. I could, living under a bridge. There are people who are, in fact, actually without any type of roof over their head. So I do know and understand and am cognizant of the fact that things could be so much worse. I feel traumatized on a daily basis. Again, like when I was younger, except for, when I was younger, I wasn't old enough to really actually do anything about it except for run away. And now it just feels like, I don't know. Anyway, I published a book. So I published a book this year, and I'm very proud of that, because even in my circumstance, I would not give up on publishing that book this year. Obviously, I couldn't publish it last year like I had intended, because everything was just freshly new and happening. But I was not going to let that stop me this year, and I'm very glad that I pushed forward. I am hoping to have a new home again next year, and I know that's crazy because that's what I was hoping for this year, and it didn't happen. So you would think that I would learn to set my expectations really low, but I am a person of faith, and I even though some days it might seem like I'm questioning God's plan for my life. I am a believer that he would never put more on me than I can bear, even if I think I can't bear it, even if I think I'm not strong enough. I know that he would never give me a situation or put me in a situation I can't handle. I believe that. I don't believe that his purpose for my life, it stops here. I don't believe that this is the end of all that I have to contribute to this world. So because I don't believe that, I'm going to choose to still be optimistic and know that I will have a home again soon, and pray that it's next year. Or if I don't get a permanent home, that I don't know, find an Airbnb I can stay in month to month, or be afforded the ability to travel. That would mean money. Because, if I could travel, I probably wouldn't care so much about not having a permanent home, because then I would be traveling and doing something that I had always hoped to be able to do at this point in my life. Although I had hoped to be able to do it and have a home to come back to. But, traveling is always something I thought that once I had my daughter, I knew that, being a single mom, like traveling wasn't really going to be able to be a thing until she was of college age. Did not anticipate that she would not want to stay on a campus and go to college. But, my funny thing is, my plan, see how it's funny when we plan things. It's like someone in the universe, God's laughing. But my plan was, when she graduated, that she go to college on a campus somewhere. Visit home on holidays. Like you're supposed to do at the college age. I loved that part of college. And then I would go travel somewhere, anywhere. And I would, be home on the holidays with her, but I'd be traveling somewhere. I must have really assumed I was going to have money by that point. But yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. And I thought I would have made it to Europe by now. That didn't happen either. But I don't know. I am trusting and still that, it will all work out. Not just to my benefit, but to my daughter's benefit, and to whoever's lives in the world that I am meant to touch, to their benefit. Because obviously I'm not meant to touch every single person in the world's life, because there are millions of people in the world that I will probably most likely never meet. But for all the people that I am meant to come into contact with in my life, and whose lives I am meant to touch, I feel like, I'm trusting to be optimistic that things will work out to my benefit, my daughter's benefit, and the people whose lives I'm meant to touch, their benefit. And because I still believe that, it's hard to plan. I will say it's hard to plan for 2025. I'm rambling a lot, but it's hard to plan for 2025. And I've never had a hard time planning for the next year. I, always have way too many goals that any one person can actually accomplish in a year. But I've never had a hard time sitting down and making plans. And I had a hard time last year, and I'm having a hard time again. And I really think it's because I'm not settled. And it's hard to make plans when you're not settled. And when you don't know how the next year is going to go, when you don't even have a home to have a feeling of safeness to come back to. Like, I've never had a whole lot of money or anything. I've never really needed, aside from the obvious reasons you need money, I've never been a person who needs, how am I going to say this? I've never been a person who did things just to get money. Yes, money is lovely. It's nice. It's so many things you can't do without having money. Things that just, simple things like eat. You kind of need money for that. There's so many things you can't enjoy without money. So yes, I acknowledge that you need money, but I've never been a person that's like, oh, I'm going to do this for the amount of money it could get me. That's just never been me. Because if that was the case, I wouldn't be a writer. Because unless you're a New York Times bestseller, not even then, unless you're like a multi-million-dollar writer who's getting like Harry Potter, Twilight kind of money and having films adapted, which, one day I hope that I do. Unless you're that writer or James Patterson, you're going to be basically living from, I don't want to say paycheck to paycheck, from book to book. If you're self-published, it's even harder because it kind of, everything falls on you, the marketing, the everything. And we all know if you can't market your book, it doesn't matter how good it is. No one's going to read it because you haven't marketed it, or you can't market it the way it needs to be marketed. And I'm not unrealistic enough to know that. I feel like by no means is Weight of Her like the best book I ever planned to write. I think it's pretty good. Pretty sure it's good. I liked it. But I feel it could do so much better if I had the ability to market it the way it should be marketed. But I don't. So there's always the next book, hopefully. And maybe the book after that and whatever. But, I've never been a person that's like, oh, I'm going to write this book because I think it'll make me $1 million. Because if that was the case, I'd probably be writing a fantasy. Because fantasy tends to do well. It tends to get agents. It tends to, or I'd probably be heavily into writing romance, because that also is like the biggest genre in the book industry. So, and I'm not saying that mystery isn't a good genre. I have never even tried to query a mystery. The mystery that I have is the first mystery I've ever written. So I don't even, but, oh, what am I saying? I don't, I would like to have money. I'm not going to say I like things. I love books and I love journals, and those things cost money. But I've never been a person who's all about money. I'm not greedy. I don't want to hoard it all for me. Like, if anything, I would like, if I ever wanted to be rich, it wouldn't be for me, per se. It would be, one, so my child doesn't have to struggle. And two, so that I could start a few foundations that I would like to start and donate to several more that I would love to donate to. It would be so that I could give back. It would be so that I can help other people struggling, or who have struggled, or who are, it would be to give back. Because, you can't give back if you have nothing to give. And you can't give from an empty tank, or in this case, empty bank account. So money is nice, because you can't do some of the things, even some of the good things you want to do in this world, without it. But it's not everything. And I think I am going to be a little selfish next year and ask to be, ask the universe or God to be afforded the ability to not necessarily be rich, but to be financially stable, because that would mean a lot. And I'm like, if I could get a book deal, that would be great. The first thing I would do is I would say buy me a home, but I have no desire to actually live in a house. Maybe a condo. Condo would be the closest thing, because you still get the apartment style living, which means, no, but then are you still in a condo because you own it? Are you still responsible for like maintenance and things like that? Because that's the whole appeal for apartment living for me. I don't want to be responsible if a piece of machinery in the apartment breaks, and I don't want to have to buy a new washing machine or buy a new dishwasher. I don't want to have to do that. I want that to be the apartment building's responsibility, not mine. That, and I just, houses have lots of stairs. And I know there are one-story houses, but those are never really all that. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know where this video is going. I don't know what kind of reflections these are. This video will probably be hodgepodge together with clips in some other time frame, because I have to go put my clothes in the dryer now. And I had hoped to have my reflections done in one video. I should have known better. I know myself. I'm very chatty. Haven't you noticed? Anyway, I'm gonna go. We'll be back with more reflections at another point in time. Bye. Hello. We're back for more reflections. I didn't quite finish the other day, so I think it was last Friday when I made that message, so it's almost a whole week later. It was the day after Christmas now, and needless to say, it was not a very Merry Christmas for me, but which is disheartening, because Christmas is actually, fun fact, my favorite holiday. Mainly because I like decorating, but I didn't have a home to decorate last year or this year, so, but at least there was a semblance of a tree where I was at last year, and just nothing. But as I think last year I didn't get to watch It's a Wonderful Life, which is my Christmas Eve tradition that I always like to do on Christmas Eve every year, and I didn't get to do it last year. I don't know if they just didn't air it last year, or if I just didn't find it last year, but I got to watch it, and I realized, well, because my daughter was like, oh, old black and white classic movies, and I'm like, have I not ever shown you It's a Wonderful Life? I'm pretty sure I thought I showed you It's a Wonderful Life, but apparently I haven't, or she doesn't remember it. So she asked what the basic overall point of the movie was, and I'm pretty sure I did a crappy job of explaining it. What is happening? Pretty sure I did a crappy job of explaining the movie, which is why I am not a movie reviewer. Because I don't sum stuff up very well. I'm very chatty, have you noticed? But the overall gist I gave her was that pretty much it's about a man who gets into some trouble, or things go wrong, and he hasn't exactly had the kind of life he's wanted. Family obligations and things that he's felt responsible to be obligated for, or people, in family, as far as family he's felt to be obligated to, which hadn't allowed him to lead the life he wanted to lead, which was traveling the world and getting out of the hometown he grew up in. He got into some trouble that could have possibly landed him in jail. If y'all have seen It's a Wonderful Life, lost some money, could have gotten him in trouble, and he basically starts to think about the fact that he's worth more dead than alive, and he would probably just be better off if he had never, people would probably be better off if he had never been born. And then this angel, drops from the sky, quite literally, in human form, and shows him what his life would have been like had he not been born. All of the people whose lives he touched, Most importantly, the two most important things that would have been altered had he not been born was the guy, the pharmacy store owner. He would have ended up killing some people because he, put the wrong rat poisoning in the pharmacy pills or whatever, and George is the one who stopped him because he saw what he did. And the other most important one is his brother wouldn't have survived because he's the one who saved his brother's life. And had his brother not survived, then all of the lives that his brother saved when he went into the military would not have been saved because he wouldn't have been there to save them. So it's kind of showing the domino effect of what your life does for other people and how you may not think that you make a difference, but in great impactful ways you do. And so I gave her the overall gist, and I basically was like, it's kind of like it made him put his life, what he thought was a bad life, into a different perspective. It made him see things differently. And so it got me to thinking as I was explaining to her, and I was like, obviously things are not great for me at the moment, but things could be worse. There are people who it is worse for, and even while I think that I don't particularly touch any one person's life in any grand kind of way, I don't know that. I don't know that for sure. And if I weren't here, and my daughter could be meant to touch someone's life in the future that had I not been here, she wouldn't be here. So then, it's kind of a domino effect. You never know what you mean to this world. You're never probably really going to know, because you might not even meet all of the people whose lives you possibly will touch with your art or with whatever it is you do, or the life you might touch one person's life who goes on to touch thousands of others, but it all happened because you touched theirs. So puts things in perspective. And as I'm doing my reflections of 2024, I thought that was kind of important to share. I wasn't too wordy with that. Okay, what? Really? Wonderful. I don't know. Is that... Don't hit the car. It would help if you were parked correctly. That would be nice. Anyway, I'm at the post office real quick because I was told I have a package to pick up, so I'll be back with more reflections. I'll be back. Okay, where was I? I am no longer driving. I am back. And before I get ready to go back into my nightmare, where did I leave off at? I think I was talking about perspective on how you look at your life, and how no matter how bad you think your life is, you're here for a purpose. You touch people's lives even if you don't know it. And I think that was important for me to remember as this year is coming to a close, because this has not been a great year. It's been a rather crappy year. Mind you, not as terrible as last year when I lost my home. That was a unique sense of terror, and unique horribleness that probably could not be repeated. But it wasn't the year I wanted it to be. Wasn't the year I had planned for it to be, which goes to the whole theory, we plan, God laughs. Because our plans, they don't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but yet they do, because you can't just not plan, because that's not good. But I had planned to do quite a few things this year. I had hoped, I wouldn't say planned, to be in a new home by the end of the year, but I had hoped I would be. I had hoped things would have turned around by now for me. I had hoped a lot of things. And I hope the same things for next year, because they clearly did not turn around the way I wanted them to, and they clearly, I didn't accomplish as much as I wanted to accomplish this year. I didn't even publish all that I set out to publish this year, which, I'm disappointed in myself. Excuse me, voice faded out there. Disappointed in myself for not, doing everything that I wanted to do, but also I'm trying to have grace with myself, given the fact that, my current circumstances and situation aren't ideal, and they're not good for accomplishing the things that I wanted to accomplish, which some might say, well, why set unattainable goals, or goals that can't really reach? And I know that there's something to be said for setting goals that are manageable and attainable and tangible, and that you can check off. And I leave those attainable, manageable goals, although it may not look like it if you've watched my vlogs and see the lists that I set out for myself weekly. But I set those reasonable and attainable, tangible goals for my day-to-day, my to-do list. Like, my list will look like post the video, edit the video, export the video, little breakdown tasks that I know clearly I can achieve these. Whether I'm feeling too lazy or not on any particular day to actually achieve them is another story, but I know that they're doable. Like, edit a video. That's easy. I can do that. Open the video editor and edit the video. Do the work. Export the video. Do the thumbnail. These are little, simple, manageable tasks that, on a day-to-day basis make me feel like I got a lot of time and that I was quite productive. But, which is good, because you need that. You need that day-to-day feeling of, I got shit done. But I like to set hard to reach goals too, which is like my yearly thing. Because yes, you want manageable, attainable goals. Those are the day-to-days. But you want those goals that seem out of reach, because if you actually attain them and reach them, man, that's a hell of a feat. Like, I will say, publishing The Weight of Her, which was supposed to be published last year, and obviously because of circumstances couldn't happen, publishing The Weight of Her, I think to me it seemed it seemed unachievable to me, because I'm still in the current circumstances and situations, and under the best scenario, it's hard to publish your book, and it's hard to revise and get it edited and go through the edits and the whole process of writing a book in itself, let alone revising it and getting a cover done. And yes, I'm not the one doing the cover, but going over that process, it's not a simple task. I just realized I had the heat on that whole time, so I don't know if you even heard any of this. Hold on. Okay, you could hear me, but you could definitely hear the heat running too. It's cold, and just needed a little bit of a burst of heat that I had running in my car. Anyway, it seemed unachievable to me to publish The Weight of Her, because I'm still homeless, technically, and don't have money to do proper marketing, don't have money to do a lot of things, and it just seemed unachievable to me. It might not have seemed like it was an unattainable goal to anyone else, but it did to me. Actually, what I had on my list, my goal for this year was to publish at least 2 books, which clearly I did not reach. But The wafer was the main one. And I'm really proud that I got that done because, again, that was one of my unachievable goals. Well, a goal that I thought was going to be extremely hard for me to achieve given my current circumstances. And I like to put, I know I talk about the fact that my goals are a little overly ambitious, but I like them that way because it makes achieving them that much sweeter. And now I know putting a new home on the list, yeah, that was highly unattainable, but I still wanted to think that it could happen and try for it to happen. And, I'm still going to hope for it. I'm still trying to, I'm querying this year, 2025 year, and that's an unattainable, unachievable goal. Well, it seems that way because of how long the query process can take, how long I'm going to have to revise the book and then put the query package together, and it's a process. But, I just want 2025 to be better, but I'm not going to sit there and say it's, I really thought 2024 would be a better year. I wanted it to be a better year. I wanted it to be a year that I found a new home. I knew it was a long shot and, again, highly unattainable, but I was hoping. I was praying. I was trying to manifest it. Still don't necessarily see light at the end of the tunnel here, but I'm still looking for it. I'm still driving towards it, hopefully. See little flickers of light with a whole lot of darkness shrouded around. And I'm trying to manage as best I can. I'm trying to manage my own expectations, but not remove my optimism, because I tend to think that I am mostly an optimistic person, although sometimes I probably come off a bit pessimistic, but I genuinely try to be optimistic about the direction of where things are headed. It's just harder on some days than others to be optimistic. Probably should have shot this video on a more upbeat day, but there haven't been many of those lately, so I tried to be happy this Christmas, but it's not a great day, particularly because my mother decided to remind me of the pitiful situation that I am in, because on Christmas Eve a miracle really had to be pulled off for me to get food for us for Christmas. And she took the opportunity to get in her digs about how pitiful my life is and my situation, and it's really sad, and I'm sad. Not sad as in I feel sad. I'm sad as in she used the word sad excuse for a person, but she basically said, your life is just so sad, pretty much. So This was on Christmas, by the way. So that's lovely. And made for a great day. I did play a video game with my daughter. But yeah, I mean, I had managed to get something for us for dinner on Christmas Eve, so I did do that. It was on sale, so that was extra points. But it definitely wasn't a great Christmas. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Maybe more reflections to come later. Maybe. I don't know. Bye. Hi. Okay, back for more reflections. And I think this will be it. I think. As you can see, I'm out. I had to do my reflections when I was out of the house because I don't feel I can talk freely in the house the way I want to. So, anyway, I'm not even sure I can remember all of what I said on the previous clips or how I'm stringing this together, actually. But I think I just want to wrap it up by saying that my lesson I take from It's a Wonderful Life, that everything is about perspective, and we always think grass is greener on the other side. It's not. Grass is greener as I think I heard a comedian say this, but I'm sure it's probably something he got from somewhere else. But grass is greener where you water it, and I feel like I've been watering my garden for a very long time now. I know that when you plant seeds, sometimes it takes things a long time to grow, and I know that too. And I'm not the most patient person, so there's that. I feel like I've been struggling for so long. I've been wrestling with this dream of mine for so long. I just, would like to be thriving in my life, financially stable, thriving, able to do things for others and help other people. And I just want to get to a point in my life where I can do that. And I just would like, this is probably the furthest out of reach I have ever felt my dreams were. And which is crazy because, before I had any published books, I thought they were right there and attainable. And I have published books, and it just still seems like they're so far away. And everything I want out of this life for me and my daughter is just so far away. That said, I ain't a quitter. So, the hits just keep coming, and I keep getting knocked down, but I feel like I keep getting back up. I may stagger as I get up, but I do get up. But I'm really tired of getting knocked down, and I'm really just tired. I'm tired, and I just want to see some blossom of the seed that I have been planting for decades now, and I want to see something. Frustration, sorry, but I still know that I'm blessed. I'm blessed to still be here. I'm blessed to still be able to keep trying. I'm blessed to still be able to keep reaching. And I don't take that for granted. Sometimes I feel like giving up, but I'm not. And I guess thank you all for being on this journey with me. It sounds really awful. For making me feel seen and for making me feel like I matter. And I hope that I have I've done good things for this community in AuthorTube, and that I plan to keep on doing good things for this community in AuthorTube. And hold on, I have to get to my destination. I'll be back. Okay, I've made it to my destination, which is back to go back to the house. I'm gonna wrap this up. I hope that I've said something coherent, because I'm stringing a bunch of clips together from different days. So, but those are my thoughts as we approach the end of this year. And I'm hoping for a better 2025, but I'm keeping my expectations realistic while still striving for my, intangible, hard to reach goals. But I'm realistic about the expectation of getting some of those big things I would like to get in 2025. Like a new home. But I'm gonna leave you here for the not the week, because this is not the end of the vlog. I'm gonna leave you here for the end of the year, and I hope everyone's 2024 was great. I hope everyone's 2025 is even better. Thank you for being on this journey with me. Thank you for keeping me sane, because really some of you guys are kind of what kept me going, and kept me from giving up and throwing in the towel, literally and figuratively. And I appreciate each and every one of you. There will be some new things coming in there will be some new things coming in 2025, but more on that. Oh, well, maybe you've already seen more on that, but anyway, I guess I'll see you guys in the new year. There will be another video from me tomorrow. Should be tomorrow, because if this releases when I should release, which is Monday the 30th. So the next video, which will be tomorrow on the very last day of the year, will be my word of the year and my vision board. And yeah, that's going to be the last year for me from this year. But I will say a happy new year now, but I'll see you guys in the new year. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Really? That's going to be it for this video. If you like what you see and you want to see more videos from me, make sure that you hit the like and subscribe button. I post videos on Mondays. I live stream on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. starting back again on January 8th. And as per usual, if you would like to be supportive of me in any of my creative endeavors, such as my blog, my online magazine, my online store with writer merch, becoming a member on my Patreon, tipping me on my Ko-fi, or by buying my books or reading them on Kindle Unlimited, all of those links can be found in the description box below. And until next time, take care of yourselves and have a blessed day. Bye.